Are you considering the CAPM certification? No, wait for it. I'm talking to you, but wait, you want to know if it is really worth your time, your effort, and of course, your money. Well, if this sounds good to you about the potential doors opening, about the new opportunities, about the enhancing your professional credibility, you probably want to stay tuned to this video because we're going to talk about a path that will set you up for success and really make a case for, is the CAPM really worth it? If you're new to the channel, I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, that just simply means Ed. I have an 8-point framework. In these 8 points, my goal, my thinking, my mission is to unpack today's title, which is entitled, is the CAPM really worth it? No, really, ED, be honest with me. Is it really worth it? Or are you just sitting up here just saying this? Let's go on to point number 1. Assessing the investment versus the return. Again, assessing the investment versus the return. Listen, family, I don't care what you want to do as far as if you want to see if it makes sense for you to go after the CAPM or not. But this is the very first step. If you do not do this step, anything else that we talk about for the rest of the video will not matter. This is more about understanding your why. This is more about understanding your how come. How come am I not going to quit when I'm studying for this CAPM? How come am I not going to keep moving forward? Why do you keep saying how come, ED? See, how come triggers something in you to let you know that if you have a how come am I going to move forward? Well, I'm going to move forward because I've calculated the cost that is associated. And I'm not talking about monetary. I'm not even talking about time. I'm talking about the opportunity to actually step into this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management. And you may already be a project manager and asking yourself, hey, I got about X amount of years of experience. Why would I need a CAPM? We're going to address you as well. But the point I'm trying to make is, here's a tip. Considering for long-term benefits such as a career advancement or even higher earning potentials rather than just the immediate cost. That's how you have to look at it, family. Sometimes we get caught up in the immediate cost. Sometimes we get caught up in the here and now. But I'm saying, reason why I believe, and for these 8 points, I'm going to fight everything for the CAPM to say it's worth it. Let's move on to point number 2. Point number 2, breaking the status quo by specializing early. This is one thing I wish I would have done, but no, I don't do wishes. I don't do wishes upon a star. This is something that I could have done, but I didn't because I didn't have a video like this. But today you're in luck because of the fact that the opportunity, if you start now, I'll give you until tonight to think it over, but tomorrow you need to take action. The point I'm trying to make is, family, the ability to understand what the CAPM is. First of all, we understand that the CAPM is a certification associate in project management, which translates into more of like a junior project manager or a project coordinator. It's worth it, family, because it gives you the opportunity to also give you a basis knowledge and take a deeper dive into the specialized areas of project management, such as the agile framework, just different methodologies, risk management, and look how unique this is. This is only to my life learners out there. It helps you further your education and or certification. Let's move into point number 3. Understanding CAPM's value in the job market. Now, I know this is going to be touchy, so I'm going to get right to it and I'm going to be very transparent. This is what I would recommend as a tip. You want to know if the CAPM is worth it. You want to know if it's worth it. I want you to leave a comment in the comment section after you do what I'm asking you to do. This is what I'm asking you to do. Go on to Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and filter the job searches based on the certification of a CAPM. See how many opportunities are available versus the project coordinator or junior project manager that do not require a CAPM certification. I would love to see what those numbers are and the comparison rate. See, this allows you to see, again, is it really worth it? Is it worth me putting in the time and the effort and the stress that comes with it? Because it does come with stress, but it's a good stress to see if this is something you really want to do as far as going after your CAPM or picking up those books again that you started your CAPM journey on and actually seeing it through. And by when you're researching these job postings, you're going to be able to identify like, wait, yeah, ED may be on to something that this may even be worth it. Let me stay focused. All right, point number 4. This will allow you to bridge the education to experience gap. One of the things that I've seen with new project managers, whether I should say project coordinators and even project managers, I'm gonna be honest with you, that come into this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management. They struggle with the language as far as the lingo. So being able to bridge that gap of understanding the language, the CAPM it's a deep dive into the PMBOK book, as well as it gives you an opportunity to understand vocabulary, understand the different frameworks within Agile, the different methodologies, the 49 processes, it's so much, it's filled with so much gem. Like, again, starting over, even if I would have had 10 years of experience before I even took a certification, I still would have started with the CAPM and then transitioned into the next certification. The reason why is this is your foundation. If you really want to be taken seriously, again, subjective, this is my opinion, the ability to start at the bottom and then go to the top. Now we're here. Okay, I'm about to start dancing. No, but seriously, family, this gives you a chance to really show that, you know what? I'm serious about this thing called project manager and actually being a real qualified project manager and taking the theories and testing the theories out in real life project management. All right, let's move on to point number 5. Again, CAPM, laying the groundwork for advanced certification. I kind of set this up. You like how I did that? But really, the CAPM really gives you an opportunity to move into the next place, which would be the PMP. We all know that the PMP is like, if we were to look at just PMP is the platinum. Let's put it that way. We'll just cut through the chase. Reason why I love it is because, see, when you take the CAPM, it gives you an opportunity to build up your project management knowledge base and accumulate the necessary experience with work experience, of course, and when you go get ready to pursue your PMP certification. Because one thing, there's a foundational level with the PMP where vocabulary and everything, but it is really more scenario based. And with it being scenario based, meaning that you still have to have a grasp of the fundamentals. You know, one thing that I loved what Kobe talked about is they were interviewing him, and he was like, one of the things he spends a lot of time is working on the fundamentals. Look what the fundamentals got him. You see that 5 rings. Anyway, I digress. But the point of it is, family, by laying the groundwork in advance for advanced certification, you're really saying I'm creating a long-term plan for my certification journey, and you're developing the ultimate career goal that allow you to move on to the next step. All right, let's move on to point number 6, enhancing employability in a competitive market. Listen, family, in these days and times in 2024, we are in a very extremely competitive market. And we're not just competing, nationally or state or the states, United States, we're competing globally. And because we're competing globally, we have to ensure that we are doing everything possible to make sure that we have an opportunity to compete in this market. So being able to get the CAPM, we'll be able to highlight the CAPM certification in your job applications, your interviews, and networking opportunities to stand out to potential employers. You know, one of the things is if someone is looking to hire you as a project coordinator or eventually as a junior project manager, then transition to a project manager, they're going to ask you some questions to see if you understand the theory aspect of things, which the CAPM is really good at, but then they're going to ask you about the practical things of experience. And once you get a chance to combine both of those are going to really make you dangerous in this competitive market as far as being able to compete for some of these opportunities out here. Point number 7, demonstrating commitment to personal development. Listen, one of my biggest things is commitment versus interest. Interest looks like I'm going to dip my big toe in. Commitment looks like I'm jumping in all full immersed into the water. And I believe if you really want to have success in this thing called project management, you have to fully immerse yourself into it. Immersing yourself is continuously seeking out additional learning opportunities and professional development activities to complete your CAPM certification. Personal development, I don't care how you frame it up, how you look at it, but it starts with you. You have to start the self-belief. And as you're developing that self-belief, people are going to come along to support you to bring out even more of that self-belief that's in you to see that you're a success. Point number 8, one of my favorite things as far as leading projects which is point number 8, pathway to leadership. Listen, position yourself as a leader opens up opportunities, especially in project management. Project management is all about leadership. Having the competency to lead projects successfully. And when I say successfully, I am talking about navigating through problems. I'm talking about navigating through challenging stakeholders. I'm talking about navigating through budget constraints. I'm talking about navigating. You get where I'm going, family. The ability to navigate, the ability to take the lead and to take more of a collaborative approach and understanding, as I shared on a previous video yesterday, your leadership style will take you, oh man, it can really do immense things for you. It can really help you grow as a project manager. The reason why I love this thing called project management is because project management is such a transferable skill. So let's say you get into project management and you say, you know what? I love project management, but I really enjoy these particular pieces. I'm going to see if I can, go somewhere else and do a different career. Maybe you want to be a leader. Maybe you want to be a CEO, a CISO, a CIO, a director. I don't know, but these are transferable skills, family. I get excited about it, so I have to calm down because it's so true. All right, let's move into one of the bonuses I have for you, family. First bonus is recognition from your peers and superiors. Listen, I'm not big on like, yay, recognition, but I'm not gonna lie, everybody loves a good pat on their back. And so being able to share your CAPM achievement with your organization and personal, professional circles really will enhance your professional reputation. Because people who have taken the CAPM, they will put some respect on your name because they know, some people try to make it like, oh yeah, this was a breeze and this, but it still required something of you. You still had to study the information. You still had to understand how to interpret the information, and you had to do what you had to do so you could be, ooh, I'm liking this, who you were destined to be. So what I mean by that, family, is that people are going to respect you. If I find out someone took the CAPM, I'm going to congratulate them and I'm going to salute them just like if they took the PMP, because these certifications were meant to challenge you, but yet at the same time to grow you into this profession. My last and final bonus is encouragement for lifelong learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I am not an expert at project management. I am not a guru at project management. But what I am is I am someone that appreciate the profession of being a project manager so much that I'm willing to continue to learn. I'm willing to make videos like this to teach other people. And it's not really even teaching. It's really just sharing my experience and hoping that I could really help 1,000 or more people really make the transition if they're stuck to make a decision of, hey, should I go after my CAPM? Is it really worth it? Should I go after my PMP? Should I even get into this thing, ED, that you keep talking about, that you love, that you hope I fall in love with, called project management? And I'm going to answer that with a yes. YES. So family, I challenge you to continue to be a lifelong learner. Here's my closing remarks. I have 3 of them. First point, encouragement for lifelong learning in PM. Once you get certified in CAPM, there's something called PDUs, professional development units. This is why I love PMI when it comes to this. You're required to keep a certain amount of professional development units. Again, lifelong learning. Point number 2 in my closing remarks, assessing the investment versus the return. Family, before you even make the decision, before you sit down and say, I don't know. I'm on the fence. Before you do all of that, let's look at one thing. You need to calculate the cost. And I'm not talking about monetary. I'm not talking about financial. I'm talking about the cost. What are you willing to give up? Because there's going to be some sacrifices. Maybe you wanted to see March Madness because we're in March and not, but you're studying for your CAPM because you plan on taking it on the 1st of April, or, you had other plans to go on vacation and now you need to push that vacation because you need to take that CAPM. Listen, family, this is what I'm talking about, investment versus return. It's going to cost you something, but it's up to you to realize if that cost is going to be worth it to you and your family. Point number 3, laying the groundwork work for advanced certification. As I mentioned before, this really sets you up. Once you get that CAPM bug, once you get bit by that CAPM bug, you're going to say, you know what? I need to go after my PMP. And that's where it gets really good, family. I do owe you guys a video about PMP. It's coming soon, but it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be entertaining, and I hope you really enjoy it. But until next time, this has been your boy D, and this has been another opportunity just to share what my thoughts were around, is the CAPM really worth it?